Hello travelers, I am back right quick with another short open reading for you. My cards are hot. So I have already done a bit of shuffling and meditation. This is, please, again, as always, the messages will not resonate with everyone. In order to gain any insight into your specific situation does require a personal reading. To book a reading, or if you just want to go over and take a look at my website, simply click on the I and that will take you over. Now, what I will say that I found very interesting over these past few weeks is that all of the readings that I've done, some of the private readings, have all been either Libra people or people dealing with Libra or people dealing with Libran themes. And Libra rules on the natural house system chart, where Aries is on the first, Taurus is on the second, Gemini is on the third, how the horoscopes actually fall. Libra represents, it's the house of marriage, contracts, and open enemies. So this is about partnerships, be these business partnerships, friendships, familial relationships. We had Jupiter in Libra all last year. I know a lot of you do not understand the way I'm doing the astrology, but I'm telling you, if you will pay attention, you will see that when I'm bringing particular aspects to your attention, I'm bringing that forward, you will see those things play out. If they don't play out for you personally, there's going to be somebody that you know, or it's going to be a general thing. So when Jupiter was in Libra, what was happening was people are getting married or they're getting divorced and separated. Families are breaking up or families are blending. Business partners are breaking up or you're finding new business partners. Bankruptcies are being filed, or you're joining financial forces with someone. And so a lot of times what people will assume about astrological aspects is that when that thing is going on, that particular aspect, that you're going to be affected right away. It doesn't mean that. It means that that particular part of your life, or that area of your life, wherever that big aspect is being triggered. And so the following year is when things start to shift or change and or take shape. So for some of you, Jupiter in Libra is about getting rid of old relationships and clearing the ground for new relationships to come in. And those can be, again, past, present, potential partners, enemies, rivals, and foes. It is the house of open enemies. So this can be publicly fighting or spatting with people, all of your dirty laundry being aired in the street. So that is how that astrology works, and that's how I use it. I'm not using it to have you gain a better insight into yourself. I'm trying to show you what trends are coming across that are going to affect you in your life in the real world. For those of you who might be interested in that and learning the asteroids, you can join for the membership. There's 3 levels. That 30-day membership is a cup of coffee or 1 day's lunch. And if after 30 days you don't like it, you don't have to renew, right? But you still get your free birth charts. You still get access to all of the information that is there. Now, that being said, Jupiter has now moved into the sign of Scorpio. And Scorpio rules the 8th house. The 8th house is other people's money or other people's resources. So, contained within a partnership. How can I join forces with someone and have a really deep connective partnership with them and a profitable relationship with them, but still stand on my own? Okay, and that's at 8th house. So we're looking at alimony, child support, divorces, prenuptial agreements, inheritances, lottery payouts, mortgages, those kinds of things. If nothing is happening for you right now in that particular area, know that something is being triggered in your chart if you have anything sitting in the sign of Scorpio or in the 8th house. For you Scorpio suns, this is an opportunity for you to revamp and renew your appearance, your online profiles, your reputation for some of you. This is about being seen in a favorable light or showing yourself in a favorable light and attracting those types of partnerships to you. The other, what's going to be on the 7th house for you, if we're looking at Scorpio suns, it's going to be the house of Taurus. Okay, and that is about someone else's, your past, present, potential partner, or your rival, enemy, and foe. That's going to be about their finances, their own personal finances. And you are coming with the finances in partnership, whatever that means, whether it's romantic relationship, a business relationship, business prospects, new clients coming in. What do you have to offer them? How can you get their money out of them and help them, and both of y'all get something out of it? So it plays in many, many different ways. You know, if you don't know the astrology, I can show you the astrology, but it would also, it's going to require that you have to ask questions about what's going on. And it may take you a minute to figure out exactly what's going on, but if you stop and think about it, you'll see it. So with that being said, we're going to do a quick open reading. We are moving into, I can't believe it, into the 3rd month. And on the 21st, the sun will be moving, we'll be going into the spring equinox, the first day of spring. So there's all kinds of new things that you can be planting right now, new things that you can plant coming up that you're going to be tending to. Okay, that's for everybody. You know, everybody is going to be experiencing the first day of spring. All right, so here we go. First card down, the Ace of Cups. So there are new things coming in. There are new opportunities. Most readers will only interpret the cup card to mean love. This is emotions. This is intuition. This is not only the opportunity for something new to come in, it's also the opportunity for you to release some old things. If you turn that card upside down, okay, that's that catharsis. Releasing some new things. Gaining some measure of peace. Trusting in your intuition. For some of you, it may be about a romantic offer coming in. Everybody has a different situation. Nobody's life is the same exactly. But we can all share common themes, right? Now, there's a 3 of Swords. Look at that. Like I said, that's only an opportunity. There's the 9 of Swords. Here is the Emperor. Here is the Fool card, Uranus, and the 4 of Swords. The 5 of Swords. The Page of Swords. Wow, it's a lot of swords. And then the Death card. Well. With the 5 of Cups. Now, some of you are either dealing with perhaps an Aries male. Some of you may be dealing with an Aquarian male. And some of you may be dealing with a younger air sign individual. This Page of Swords here. For some of you, this could be about a father, or that idea of a father, or someone who is like a mentor, a parent, a guidance counselor, someone who may give good advice. This is typically can sometimes be an older male. As a profession, he may be, you know, a general, a soldier, a business owner. He's an emperor, okay? And emperors, to me, are more than kings. In that respect. Past, present, future. Past, present, future. I have an abundance of swords. So what this tells me is that this is not only communication issues, these are thoughts, these are beliefs, these are ideas, these are concepts. There's a lot of mental energy here. There are a lot of words being passed back and forth, a lot of fights, a lot of arguments, a lot of discontent. There is some heartbreak here. For some of you, this is not only about, and it's kind of a weird thing, this row here of the Ace of Cups, the Fool, and then the Death card. Because these all imply new things, right? This is an opportunity to either take a leap of faith, or it's an opportunity in which you may have been foolish. Either way, If it ended, it's not only an ending, it is also a transformation and a beginning. So the Five of Cups here tells me that there has been some letdown, some emotional disappointments, some sorrow, some regrets. This is indeed, I think, a relationship that came in, but then it has, for whatever reason, we have had some loss, some sorrow, and betrayal here. For some of us, we are really, and I say some of us, I'm saying that to include everybody in here, because we've all been in a place where something came in that seemed at first glance to be really something fantastic that quickly soured. And now we are, we're worried about it. We're trying to figure out what happened, what went wrong, what did I do? We're having nightmares about it. We are, sometimes that Nine of Swords can be that energy of being remorseful, our conscience getting the best of us. I have also seen the Nine of Swords show up when we are dealing with a legal issue that is prominent, that is coming, or that has presented itself. For some of you, will be presenting itself. That may involve, the Death card does represent the sign of Scorpio. So for some of us, this could literally be the passing of an older male relative or someone that was like that parental figure or guidance figure for us. This could have been perhaps through a sudden heart attack or circulatory issues. I do not do health readings, but I can only give this to you as I'm just trying to throw a bunch of things in here, because I'm reading for so many people. Something that completely came out of the blue, the Fool card, and then you get the message, right? In that vein, way, shape, or form, we could also be looking at legal issues coming up on the backside having to do with inheritance and property, okay? Fights, arguments, maybe even some treachery and deceit that we didn't see coming here. The Fool is not only that card about taking a leap of faith, but it can also be about being foolish and naive. Not expecting something to happen that did happen. Why? Because you just didn't assume that anybody would do that or say that or that thing would happen. This is moving forward without actually paying attention to what's happening around you. The reason why I say that is because the Fool has his eyes closed, okay? And there's that little dog that's trying to give you that warning, So this card, I think is, and it's a Uranus card. And Uranus, this energy is associated with Mercury. It's a higher octave of Mercury. So this is about sudden ideas, sudden insights. This is about sudden messages and news, the aha moment coming. But it also, because it's Uranus, is associated kind of with that Tower energy of things happening like a bolt out of the blue. Okay? Which brings lots of chaos and upheaval. And uncertainty, things ending quite suddenly, unexpectedly. But the thing about Uranus is, through chaos and upheaval and rebellion, he's really offering you a new way through. He's trying to free you up and liberate you from something. Okay, this is not the whole world crumbling down around you like the Tower energy. This is simply something happening, a crackle, like electricity that has happened, and it has completely changed everything, right? All right? And whenever things completely change like that, what does that mean? That means that something has ended and now something new is beginning. This is the darkest before the dawn. And the whole idea behind this card is that kings and queens can beg for the end not to come. Even the Pope is begging. Okay? But death pays no attention to that. So change is inevitable. Sometimes it comes through very negative, painful, horrible things, and then sometimes it comes literally like a bolt out of the blue, and suddenly we can see our way clear of something. Okay, so it depends on where you are. Wow, that's a lot of swords. 3, 4, and 5, and they're sequential. 3, 4, and 5. What's not here is the ace, or the 2, or the 6, or the 7 or the 8. So I really think this is something that began, and then quite quickly just the whole weather around it changed. Everything just changed. I feel that for some of you, you have this person, this emperor, no matter whether this is an actual passing of someone, a transition of someone or not, what you don't see at this particular moment is that this is a reset. What does this card? This card represents Jupiter in Libra. This card represents Saturn in Libra. Now, I was just talking at the beginning about Jupiter in Libra and what all that means. So we put these 3 swords away. See those 3 swords? There they are, hanging on the wall. Okay? And what we see is someone who has retreated in some way, shape, or form. This is an effigy. So in other words, they've gone underground. This could be literal or figuratively. Okay? But what this is doing is saying it's about talking about taking a step back so that you can gain a little bit of clarity. Sometimes we have to remove ourselves from particular situations simply because mentally we can't deal with it. And so it's never a sign of weakness to take a step back from something, okay? So you can gain a bit of at least mental rest, mental clarity, and then be ready to get up again, okay? And perhaps do your battle. Now, this card can sometimes be about selfish ill will, okay? People doing whatever the hell they want to do without giving a shit of the consequences or the way anybody else feels or what they think. This could be about saying the wrong thing because you were trying to hurt somebody. Sometimes I see this card come out when there's been an argument between more than 2 people, 3 people involved, and there is this implication that there are 3 persons involved, where you may have to say something to stand your ground, okay? But then you see those 2 swords over the shoulder. It's almost like maybe you have a bit of regret about having to do that. But sometimes we have to say things to remain true to ourselves and stand up that we may feel bad about, okay? But sometimes we have to do that. I think for some of you, this is about crosswords and perhaps some kind of retaliation. Okay, the Page of Swords is an interesting kind of a character. And what I mean by that is he is a student of communication. So this is someone who is sharp-tongued, sharp mind, quick-witted, okay, highly intelligent, can pick up on the nuances of things either through reading or speaking or simply by listening. And then, if they need to, they will chop your head off. But the thing about the Page of Swords is that idea of being able to get to the truth of the situation through the communication. It is about studying the idea of the truth and studying the way it is being communicated to you. Okay? Well, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4 pip cards here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at this I'm going to start here with the 3 at the top. I'm going to take a look at this 3 of Swords sitting next to the Emperor and the Fool card. Then I'm going to look at the 9. Then I'm going to look at the 4. Then I'm going to look at the 5. I mean, this is heavily weighted towards swords. So this tells me that some of you may right now be in open conflict with someone. Okay? Remember, past, present, potential partners, friends, rivals, and foes. Okay? And no matter what the case may be, this is a serious opposition of 1st house Aries against 7th house. Look at all of these swords, that air energy. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. There's a lot of air energy here. So there's a lot of things going on, but it's all in the realm of words, thoughts, and communications. Okay? That's what this is telling me. It's all being tossed and bandied about. The way people are thinking, what they're saying to each other, what they're writing, what they're communicating, text messages, emails, sometimes documents and, forms, contracts that are being written or torn up, or, lawsuits. There's a lot of legal energy surrounding this. So let's take a look first at this Three of Swords. Amore, the love card. The desperate jealousy. Now, this card is not about jealousy per se. It's about that idea of an excessive attachment to a situation on a mental plane. Look, he's shooting himself in the head. And the Gran Consolazione. I can't get over the fact that this might have been the best relationship of my life. You see, the Gran Consolazione is the idea or the concept of having reached some or achieved some measure of success after a long time. Something that you've been dreaming of, you've been hoping of. Guess what? That you've been wishing about. Then I'm going to go back and look at these close to each other. Let me take a look at this Five of Swords, because it's in a quite pivotal place. I think that for some of you, this is even the idea or the concept that you have fear that you're going to have to go to battle with somebody, or take them to court, or fight. And you're fearful of that. You're maybe not sure that you can do it, that you won't win. Well, again, swords. If that's what you think, that's what you get. And then sometimes it's about learning to compromise so that everybody has a win-win. Five of Swords. Bambino. Sospiri. Militare. Arguments, fights, ill will, miscommunications, selfishness, a defeatist attitude, being of two minds about what you're doing, what you're saying, what was said to you, why was it being done, why was it being said. And what we have, some new kind of hope, waiting for our ship to come in. But then here comes the militare, the law enforcement. Remember, I was talking that this guy could be a general or a soldier or a police officer or something like that. But what it speaks to is the idea of either being stopped dead in your tracks or being caught. It also speaks to these guys, sometimes they do black ops. Okay? Remember, here, you got your eyes closed. And here you done took a break back from it. And maybe while you were doing this resting, somebody comes in and tries to deal you, literally, the death blow in this situation. Okay? Now, what I want to look at this Four of Swords here. And I have two fours. Now, two fours mean a safe and secure period of time. And maybe for some of you, what this row across the center here with the Emperor, the Fool, and the Four of Swords is saying that if you've been operating from an arrogant position, or you're dealing with someone like that, you have been foolish and naive to think that this person, maybe they took a break and you haven't heard anything from them, but what they've been doing behind the scenes is they've been trying to figure out how to screw you. Okay? But also, that if you've been acting in that particular kind of manner of being selfish and arrogant and, my way or the highway, that's going to come back to bite you in the ass. Remember, what comes around goes around. Okay? So I think whatever this thing is, it's you need to step lightly through it. Doesn't matter. It's going to come to an end. No matter how this is, eventually it will end. Okay? So the question becomes, is it going to be, a really horrible ending, or is it going to be one that I can live with? Uh-oh. My microphone fell off. Uh-oh. Hold on. Sorry. There we go. Now, Four of Swords here. Now, the other message of the Two of Fours, the two fours, is a potential home move or change of address. So one is about being in a safe and secure position. No, maybe for right now. But there's definitely something brewing. 2 death cards. The Morte. La Riunione. This is either about a meeting of someone or being with someone. Sometimes I've seen this card show up like a job interview. Okay? Yeah, definitely. Somebody taking their wands and moving on. This is the end of this relationship, this partnership, this meeting, and they are taking their wands and moving on. But they're doing it while you're not looking. And you are under the assumption that they're not going to screw you over. I dare say. Okay, now, I told you I was going to look at these cards next to these few things right here. So let me get to that. I have 2 4s. House repairs or looking to move house. I've already told you that. What I want to look at is the 3 of Swords next to this Emperor. Let me see what this is telling me. Okay. And the Fool card. If anything. Next to the Emperor in a reading, it is asking you not to become upset or hurt by another's harsh criticism or judgment. You are to remain positive and strong. Do not bother to pursue or change things. Just continue to forge ahead. It is a message not to pursue or try to change the existing situation. Rather, begin anew and have no fear, as all will work out accordingly. I'm telling you. It also implies that although you may be feeling emotionally hurt by what you consider unfair treatment, judgment, or harsh criticism, take heed in the messages that these feelings and circumstances will pass, and you will, with hindsight, see the lessons learned during your time of anguish. Now, what were those cards on that 4 of? Yeah, you'll begin to see why this all made sense to you. You know, this could be somebody telling you, I don't like you because you're overweight, or I don't like your hair, or I don't like whatever. Okay? Or somebody saying, I don't, you're not my type. Whatever the case may be. Now, with other Swords cards, it is a strong indication that a close relationship is coming to an end. Okay, look, I can only give it to you the way I see it. 9 of Swords. Four of Swords across this row. Next to the Ace, it's touching upon the Ace. Indicates that some long-term goals or plans need to be reassessed and reevaluated before proceeding. There it is. There it is. It may be telling you that although you may, although you may not yet be involved with any long-term plans or considerations, when they do arise, make efforts to check and recheck all aspects before proceeding, as some reevaluations and amendments may be needed. This is definitely, to me, is speaking about some legal issue that you guys, something that's coming up. Okay, 5 of Swords. That's why I read cards. All right. It's not between the 4 and the 9, but they're here. They presented themselves. It may be a health warning. If you've been feeling unwell of late, take the time to find out why, then rectify the problem. Otherwise, The condition may exacerbate rapidly. It is a distinct message that health issues need to be addressed promptly. Okay? And again, this might have to do with somebody older in your family, somebody that you know. Now, those are all of the messages that I can give you. It is definitely, if nothing else, in general, what I feel that I'm looking at is some kind of sudden change in your reputation and or appearance through either a legal issue, perhaps a health issue, or the passing of someone. But I would dare say, for some of you, there's somebody out there or around you that you may be dealing with who, for all intents and purposes, will be moving forward, but they're not going to do so in a manner, I think, that is going to be quite nice. You know, ultimately, you're going to have to figure out how to deal with that. So what I'm going to do now is pull a angel answer card for you. So I'd like for you to formulate those questions. Okay, and please keep in mind, as I say, this is not always about a romantic thing. This is, you know, this could be business, family, friends, partners, whatever, you know, however that works for you. All right. So formulate your question. I don't necessarily think it's a trickery and a deceit kind of a thing. What it is it's going to be one swift kind of a, you know, that's going to come out of nowhere. So I want you to be aware of that. The bottom line is you're not going to be able to change the situation, okay? Within the next few months. So for some of you, this could be speaking of those changes that will be affected coming up. Sometimes the death card is swift. I feel for some of you it's going to be swift. I feel for some of you it's going to be kind of a slow thing. Okay, so let me get my book. Within the next few months. Either way, it's a change coming. Okay. And sometimes the more accepting you are of it, even if it is shitty, the easier it is. The next few months, what you are asking about will occur. Divine timing means that other people's free will choices are also involved. So keep the faith while all of the pieces of this puzzle comes together. The situation will resolve itself beautifully. So even though it may be a bunch of crap and confusion and hurt feelings and anger and ugly words being said, this too shall pass. So until next time, thank you for allowing me to read for you. Don't forget, you can always go over to the website by clicking on the eye. Until next time, namaste.